Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores or estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I'm always looking for kind of interesting little things or things that kind of personally appeal to me. And then I bring them home, try and find out as much as I can about them, and then tell you guys about them. So here's what I've got today. Now, I know I don't normally do jewellery, but this was just too weird not to buy. I was absolutely fascinated by it. This is a very, very tiny little pin. It is silver, but I cannot find a hallmark on it. Which obviously is incredibly unusual to find. Like, if something doesn't have a hallmark, it's usually a general bet that it's, nothing but, silver plate at best. But something about this kind of suggests to me that it's not, that this is actually sterling silver. It just happens to be unmarked. And yeah, bearing in mind that I know that that's incredibly unusual, that is really just a guess on my part. Again, there is no actual like mark anywhere. There's no like 925 stamp or anything on this. Now, I bought this for $5 in a thrift store and I knew nothing whatsoever about it. It was really just a kind of shot in the dark. I just thought it was incredibly interesting and really kind of fascinating because, like, it's obviously a pheasant. It's a pheasant, okay? Scottish pheasant, because it's obviously got the tartan. And on the underside out of here, if I can get this to focus, I don't know if I can, we have a tiny little stamp. And that is also fairly interesting. So before I get to that, let's actually just measure it up. I have actually had this for a while. I've been trying to do research on it and just about failing. there's not a whole lot you can really do. This is something so specific. Anyways, it is just shy of 2 3/4 inches from nose to tail there. Like maybe about an inch wide. I'm not, yeah, maybe an inch wide. It's a tiny little thing. It's basically just a brooch. A brooch of a Scottish pheasant. And I had a feeling when I got it that I would either have to, well, first of all, figure out what the marks meant or identify the tartan. Okay, something I should try and explain just in case you don't really know. In Scotland, the different Scottish Highland clans or whatever would have had a particular colour that they wove into the material used in their outer garments. It's called the tartan. Each of the colours or the patterns of colour, that the crosshatch pattern, each of those would be specific to the clan, and it's like not the done thing to be wearing the colours of another clan, for example. And so yeah, it was a bit of a kind of a lot of guesswork here involved in trying to figure out what that pattern is or what family it would have belonged to, and also try and work out what do these marks mean. Yeah, tall order, but I thought for $5, I'm gonna have a go. Anyway, so what I found out is that the closest match for this pattern is this MacArthur tartan, MacArthur tartan, or Clan Arthur. I think Arthur or MacArthur is basically the same. Because that's basically, I just looked at it. I had to actually go through a little finder or whatever, actually looking specifically for like how do you actually match up the bars and colors and everything. And basically, these were kind of the closest match on a few of the online online tartan finders that I was looking at. And the interesting thing is that that's from MacArthur, obviously. Now, if I look at the underside here on these marks, and I know that they're quite difficult to see on the camera, but you can just about make out there, there's looks like a J, E, and then what might be an M, and then 76. And I get the feeling that those are somebody's initials, and that M could actually be MacArthur. 76 would be the year. So this little pin could have been essentially something that's made for someone whose name was MacArthur sometime in 1976, which is not a whole lot to go on, but I mean, it's I just find it kind of compelling that there is an actual initial on the back that is an M, and it just so happens that the pattern most closely matching with the one that's on the pheasant itself is MacArthur. That's kind of cool. I did actually want to take a quick look. There is a little bit of information here on Wikipedia about Clan Arthur or Clan MacArthur. Highland Scottish clan. Sure as look, I have no idea about where these places are in Scotland, so it's one of the oldest clans around. There's not a whole lot else, unfortunately. And it says in the late 19th century, the chief of the clan died without heir, leaving the clan leaderless until the late 20th century. Yep, I don't know. Names are a weird thing. I'm sure if someone was actually in Scotland, that this would be a lot more meaningful. The problem with trying to find out some kind of connection to Vancouver, like, is there like anyone famous in Vancouver or whatever with the name? Or are there any families that might have been named? First of all, this being Vancouver, we're basically the crossroads of the world. Everything and anything can and has shown up here. And also, our local kind of, if I want to look at local results, it's kind of poisoned by this. MacArthur Glen, the outlet mall next to Vancouver Airport. You can't really look for MacArthur, Vancouver and get any useful information because all the results just assume you're looking for a mall, which is really no good for me. It's, not useful. So this kind of leaves me with a conundrum. I can't really find out any more about this, and I can't even really find out whether this is actual silver or not. And I'm not going to take it to another jeweler who's basically going to throw me out of their store for wasting their time. They will definitely be of the opinion, if it doesn't have a hallmark, it's not silver, it's just going to be silver plated or something else equally stupid. Yeah. And the only thing I have to compare it to, by the way, is my actual sterling silver ring, which doesn't look anything like that, but my ring I wear all the time and it's kind of beaten up. Yeah, it is a mystery. I think I've probably come to the end as to what I can actually find out about it. It's an interesting little curio, and I get the feeling that there is probably someone with the second name MacArthur who will probably quite like this, because even if I'm completely wrong about it, it is still a very nice little Scottish pheasant. And that little design, which I'm sure you can't probably see on camera, that little design, as far as I can tell, looks like it was hand painted. It's definitely a piece that's been it looks like it's been hand painted and glued in there. It's kind of interesting. I was nearly wondering, did someone actually buy this from someone maybe in Scotland, went there on their holidays and brought this back for some reason? I don't know. Anyway, considering that I paid $5 for it, I'm probably going to sell it on probably Etsy, because that's kind of a bit, it's more the audience there, I think. And I'll sell it for maybe $10 plus shipping. I'm sure that someone is really going to like it, or someone who has the second name MacArthur will probably like it quite a lot. It's like not the worst bet I've ever made in a thrift store, to be honest. So there you go. At least it gave me the chance to actually go looking up, Scottish tartans and actually learning a little bit about them, which is always kind of fun. So this is my small joyful thing for the day. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.